Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nina. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back and spending some time with us. If you are a new viewer, then welcome to the channel, and I encourage you to watch video number 1. It has introductions as well as a whip parade. So in this video, we're going to be discussing my May 5x5, which I failed on, my 3 finishes that I did manage to get done, June expectations and what I want to do, as well as projects from the past 2019. We are almost done with the 2019 projects. As always, first up is Bookshelf's Daily Temperature Blackwork by Peppermint Purple. This pattern I purchased off of Etsy, but Peppermint Purple actually has their own website. They're on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. This is January through May for my area. As you can see, May is drastically colored different. We've been seeing steady temperatures in the 80s, and I think even close to the 90s at the very end. I am really enjoying this pattern. It is not part of the 5x5. Now this is done on a 20 count white Aida, and I'm using Victorian Motto flosses as well as the DMC called for. I do work on this on Sundays, so I do a whole week at a time, and I'm super excited to start June. I think June is going to be the last shelf that will fit before I have to roll the scroll frame up. Next up is the April block of Anniversaries of the Heart from Blackbird Designs. This block is specifically designed in tribute to my mother. She was born in April 1954, and she passed away in May 2019. So this was my way of basically memorializing her life into my Anniversaries of the Heart, which is exactly what this pattern is supposed to do. Now this is done on a 40 count Swagart linen in the color Woodland, and I'm using a mix of Color and Cotton and Victorian Motto and other overdyed flosses at my own conversion. Now I did have some questions on the conversion, and I do have a photo I want to put up that shows the conversion. Okay, next I want to talk about my 5x5 for May, which, as you already know, I failed. I started with the Heartstring Samplery, Consider the Lilies, and I'll put up a picture of where I was at. And where I'm at now. This one is done on a 40 count linen in the color Birch, and I'm using all the called for overdyes. I finished the top border with the flowers, came down the side, and I finished the repeat mirrored image on the right side. I think the colors of this is so pretty. I'm so excited. Again, this is what I got done in my first 5 days of my 5x5. Okay, and then for the next 5 days, I did Anne, and she is done on a Swagart linen as well in the color Country Mocha, and I'm using the called for DMCs for her. Now I will show you a picture of where I was at. And where I am now. As you can see, I've gotten quite a bit done, and the reason for this is also the reason for the failure of the 5x5. I was so consumed with trying to finish Anne that I continued to work on her long past the 5 original days that I had planned out for her. Now, as you can see, I did finish the bottom of the border with the flowers. I also finished the left-hand side all the way up to the fruit bowl. Excuse the threads that are hanging there. I will often do that when I get tired or I need to do something else. I may or may not finish the thread. I do this specifically so that I don't have any live needles because of my cats. Also, having a thread there gives you a good starting point for the next day, kind of a motivator. And now I want to show you finish number 2 and finish number 3. This is Country Cottage Needleworks Cottage of the Month, May and June. Now, I used a 28 count Lugana in the color Whisper and the called for DMCs for these. Now, these do finish at 5.5 by 5.5. I put them on a piece of foam core and I made the cording according to Vonna Pfeiffer, the Twisted Stitchers YouTube video that she's posted. I will leave a link to her channel in the description box below. Once that was done, I put the washers on the back and a magnet onto the calendar itself. And then I took a few photos and decided, you know, it's kind of plain. I need something else to go on this. So I ordered the little fence from Amazon and I got a whole bunch and I only needed 2, but whatever. And I debated whether or not to paint it white. Maybe it should be, I don't know. And then an afterthought, I put the little silk flowers as final decoration. And I think it turned out kind of cute. Here are some photos. Also, pro tip, if you are making cording and you have 12 projects that require cording, then while you have all your tools, supplies, and materials out, go ahead and make cording for all the other months. As you can see here, I've got all of the months cording tucked into their little packages, so when I get ready to do whatever month I'm doing, then everything will be ready to go and I won't need to look for it or stop to make more cording. For December, as you can see, I have a red and green that both have a bit of glitter in them. Here's my July. That's the next one I'll be working on. As you can see, I've done 3 colors. All of this Vonna teaches you how to do. It's a really great video. And here is August. And finally, I wanted to show you a close-up of the fabric. I never got around to working on Florence and Jane. They were the other 2 of the 5x5. Now let's talk about my ambitious June and all the things I would like to get done. First off, I'm wanting to work on this. It is called Cozy Cove. It's a dimensions kit. Now it has an 18 count ivory colored Aida fabric that was included in the kit, and I am using that. And I'm also using the threads that were included. Now, if you've never done a dimensions kit, the great thing about these is that with the use of multiple strands of floss, they add movement and texture to the fabric, to the picture, the overall picture. And of course, lots of back stitching. Next on my list for June is The Shores of Hawk Run Hollow. Now this is by Carriage House Samplings. I'm using the called for NPI silks, and the 40 count fabric is from Silk Weaver in the color Golden Oats. Now I got this piece of fabric from Sassy Jack Stitchery. I had taken it off of its scroll frame to use the bars, the sidebars for another project, and that's what I'm showing you here. And of course, the only bars that I could find were, of course, the 8-inch bars, the very small ones. But at least this way you can look at the project without me wiggling. There we go. Now, as you can see, I only have one square finished, and I did leave out the flying seagulls in the photo. The next square that I'm working on is not the original second square. I think it's square number 5 that will go next, and I'm excited to start that. And finally, the last segment of the program is always projects from the past until we've, catch up, which I've got a lot of projects from the past. Now, I put these floral picks together for each season as a way to kind of finish off the pieces as they hang on the wall, toppers, basically. I got all the flowers from Hobby Lobby and the floral wires and everything. I put them together. I'm showing you here the spring as well as the summer picks that I'm going to be switching into. I absolutely love these sunflowers. They're so floppy and they don't even fit in the frame. And one final look at spring. So all of these patterns are from the drawn thread, and they are roughly 216 by 30-ish in stitch count. Now here's spring. Now they've done the seasons as well as some of the holidays. This is Welcome Summer, probably one of my favorites. Absolutely love this. Now I've been using the DMC and the silks. This is just a combination of everything. I tried to do some converting of colors, but I mostly stuck with DMC and some of the silks that were called for. These are also full of specialty stitches. As you can see, the beehive and the bees have some satin stitching, and there's some Smyrna crosses. I love these so much. And Welcome Autumn. Now, autumn and summer were both done on 36 count mellow, and winter and spring were both done on an 18 count Aida that I hand dyed. These colors are absolutely gorgeous. And oh, hey, look, a stray thread. Oh, that's gorgeous too. Some more satin stitches on the acorns. And again, the cording is Vonna Pfeiffer's tutorial. These are all on foam core, and then I put a piece of fabric on another piece of foam core, and I glued the whole thing together. Now, Welcome Winter was the first one that I did, and I technically finished that in 2018. And as you can see, the background, it is not glued to fabric. It is actually some cardstock. And a quick shot of the washers. Now, I did want to show you kind of the setup and where these sit as I transition into summer, because in this house, summer starts June 1st. That's when all the summer decorations come out, and I bet that most of you guys do that too. Now, all of these sit on this little plaque just underneath the welcome project with our family name on it, and it is the very first thing that you see when you come into the house. Here's the other summer floral pick that sits above the June sampler from Waxing Moon Designs. This is the spot where I switch out those monthly samplers. I do have a video up on my channel if you'd like to see all of them. And finally, if you've made it this far into my video, then I thank you for hanging out with us. I really absolutely appreciate you. This is a little clip of Pandora being just herself and the reason why her name is Pandora, and a quick appearance by Aramis at the end. If you don't mind, please like and subscribe the video. I really would love to hear from you in the comments if you have any suggestions, and I will see you soon. Thank you so much. Bye.